everyone, Mike and Emma here from Objective Secured, and we're ready for another battle report. So today Mike is joined by a local gamer, Alex.
Yeah, Alex, we've known for probably a decade or so now, and he's only 23. So is he even 23?
I have no idea. He's young.
He's young.
He's younger than us.
He's playing his Necrons today against my Iyanden Craftworld Eldar.
And this is a 1750 point game.
Using the open war play cards again, because they've seemed like a bit of fun. Alex has participated in a couple of the Australian team championships in the past representing Western Australia. So he knows his way around the table, which is awesome. But he is using the Index Necrons because this is recorded prior to the codex release. So if you do notice anything a bit weird or maybe not as good as it should be, that's probably why. But look, the game was a huge amount of fun. And look, why don't we jump straight into it? You can check the armies out and then get on with the game.
Yeah, hope you enjoy it.
This is my 1750 point army for today's game against Alex's Necrons. It's my Iyanden Eldar. It's a Vanguard detachment and a super heavy auxiliary detachment. In the super heavy auxiliary at the back of the frame there, you can see my Wraith Knight. He's armed with a Sun Cannon, Scatter Shield, and Scatter Laser. In the Vanguard detachment, we've got two HQ choices, Prince Uriel and a Spirit Seer. The Spirit Seer has Falchia's Wing as her relic, and she's the Warlord, and she has the Seer of Shifting Vector Warlord trait, which gives her some rerolls throughout the game. In the elite choices, I have three elites. I have a unit of Wraith Guard with Wraith Cannons. I have a unit of Wraith Guard with D-Sides, both 5 strong. I have a Bone Singer, who is standing in today using the Spirit Seer model on the right-hand side of the image, mainly because that model's not finished painting yet. And I have 5 Warp Spiders in the fast attack section there. Exarch has Power Blades and dual Death Spinners. I have 2 Wave Serpents, both armed the same, Shuriken Cannon underslung, 2 Scatter Lasers on the turret and Crystal Targeting Matrix. And then I have Crimson Hunter Exarch with double Bright Lancers and a Pulse Laser. It's actually 1745 points. I was 5 points short just because I didn't have anything to spend it on. The army's hyper small. It's even smaller than the Necron list, which is saying something because Alex's Necrons are a fairly small army to begin with. Packs a reasonable punch, but it's also very short-ranged. So the psychic powers I have, obviously Smite and the healing on the Bone Singer, and then my Spirit Seer has taken Protect, Jinx, as well as obviously Smite. So 1745 in total, and I'll show you Alex's list in just a second. So this is Alex's 1750 point Necron list for today's game. It's a pair of Outrider detachments and a Fortification detachment. So it's a Necron Destroyer Cult, or the remains of a Destroyer Cult if you're familiar from 7th edition. It's a Destroyer Lord with a War Scythe, and he has the Enduring Will Warlord trait from Chapter Approved. It's 3 units of Destroyers, each including a Heavy Destroyer, which makes up the 3 required fast attack choices. The second Outrider detachment has a Cryptek with a Staff of Light and the Veil of Darkness relic from Chapter Approved, and 3 units of Wraiths, 2 units of 5 and 1 unit of 6. The 2 units of 5 both have a single model with whip coils, and the unit of 6 has 2 models with whip coils. And then the fortification is an Aegis defense line, just the walls, no gun or anything like that. Now, as Alex rightly pointed out to me just before we get underway here, all of the destroyers are actually infantry, so they're going to have a 2+ save when they're deployed behind that, which is actually kind of scary because my Scatter Lasers and Shuriken Cannons are probably going to do very little to them. So it'll be an interesting game, and if Alex plays it defensively and carefully, then who knows? We'll see what the Aegis does for the Necrons in just a second. So, we've got Deployment Hammer and Anvil, we've got 1 objective each, and we've got +2 to the move characteristic for all models and +1 to advance and charge rolls for the mission out of the open play cards, open war cards, which is kind of cool because it's kind of Drawhammer from previous editions, but it's not too samey. I've got to deploy the first unit, and we've got 2 hours and 15 minutes to play the game. 1750 points. Although we both tend to agree that that's not going to be a huge thing. My first unit is going to be Warp Spiders into reserve.
Okay, and mine will be to place the defense line.
So have you got a gun with the defense line, or is this just the wall?
Just the wall.
Hiding the objective back there.
Yep.
So this is all terrain that was done by Troy Keeley, which was really cool of him. we were actually intending to take it down to Linebreaker, which we had on the weekend just gone, but yeah, couldn't. So I wanted to make it a bit special for him. Next deployment for me, Crimson Hunter Exarch with Bright Lancers and Pulse Laser. Might help to have a tape measure. Although I'm not too far off. So just basically start him. He's fine there.
Alrighty. First unit, or second unit of mine will be the destroyers.
Is it 4 destroyers?
Yeah, squad of 4, 3 with Gauss cannons, 1 with heavy Gauss cannon.
Oh, that's right. You can mix them up, can't you?
Yeah.
I only run mine with the standard weapon because I always kind of... I suppose you can split fire now, so it's not such a big deal.
Yeah, that was my reasoning. Like, might as well chuck.
Have you got the metal ones or the fine cast ones?
So these are all old metal ones.
Oh, that's good, because the fine cast ones were questionable in some of their castings.
Yeah. First casualty of the day. Destroyer's lost his arm already.
Oh, there you go.
Oh yeah, that's my first unit. Oh, second unit then.
Mr. Wraith Knight. Sun Cannon, Scatter Laser, and Scatter Shield.
Alrighty.
You can afford to go a little bit further forward actually, so put him just there. Pointing at you aggressively. In retrospect, his posing is pretty terrible for 8th edition because he's got that gun up in the air, so you kind of always get line of sight to him.
Yeah, but on the plus side, you can hide him behind a nice tall building and just like
He's
shoot over the top.
narrow. I mean, I could hide him behind this, I suppose. You stand him back here and just stick the gun around the corner.
Yeah.
And to be fair, looking at this terrain, there's actually a fair bit that'll hide him, which is nice to have for a change.
Yeah.
So how many destroyers is it?
So it's 12 destroyers in total, 3 squads of 4, all identical, so 3 Gauss cannons, 1 heavy Gauss cannon.
Okay. And then you've also got a Destroyer Lord, a Cryptek, and then a bunch of Wraiths.
Yeah, so yeah, Destroyer Lord, Cryptek, and, 2 units of 5 and 1 unit of 6 Wraiths.
Whip coils or anything, or just...
There's, in the 2 5-man units, there's a single whip coil, and the 6-man squad has 2 whip coils.
Okay. Hopefully they get updated in the index, so from the index to the codex, because at the moment they're a bit...
Yeah.
Rumour has it that the pistols will actually be worth taking.
Oh yeah?
Which will be a novelty all of their own.
Well, I've always wanted to run the transdimensional beamers, because they're quite fun.
So you're done?
Yeah, that was my second unit.
So Wave Serpent. Now this Wave Serpent is carrying 5 Wraith Guard with Wraith Cannons, and it'll also have my Spirit Seer Warlord in it.
Okay. And then the last squad of destroyers, once I find all their bases.
I've just realised what you're doing, trying to find all the bases for them.
Yeah.
I've only got one more deployment, so...
Oh yeah. I'll get these guys down and
then you can finish. Because yeah, I've got one more squad of Wraith Guard with D sides and then the 2 characters in a Wave Serpent. So I'm literally going to deploy one more vehicle and that's that.
Yeah.
Yay for +1s.
Oh, and
24 inches on the Gauss cannons, and the heavy Gauss cannons 36. Right?
Yes. Yeah, 24 and 36. Really need to glue these bases on.
Yeah, it's a tough one for them. I mean, I glued all my destroyers down, including the Destroyer Lord, just because I didn't want to deal with what you're dealing with now.
Yeah.
But it also makes them harder to transport and muck about with, so...
Yeah.
Magnus is the natural one, but I can't be bothered.
I'm magnetising all them.
Oh, look, if I'd done it right, I would have built the magnet, put the magnet inside them before I built them.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, retrospect and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So the other Wave Serpent, it's going to have to probably go sideways to fit in the deployment zone, but it does fit. So both Wave Serpents are crystal targeting matrices as well, and obviously the trait for the Craftworld is Iyanden. So they only ever lose one model from morale, and all of the vehicles, including the Wraith Knight, count their damage profile as double wounds when you determine them. So to actually make the Wraith Knight drop a bracket, he has to be on about 3 wounds.
Yep.
Actually, that's not true. It's probably 4 wounds, I think, is the... You basically have to cripple him for him to even drop a little bit.
He basically has to be dead before he realises he's being hurt.
Well, when he's on 2 wounds, he's still not on his bottom bracket.
I'll try and put the Destroyer Lord right down the back here, if everything will fit.
So War Scythe.
Yep, War Scythe. He doesn't have anything else. Doesn't have the Phylactery or the Resurrection Orb.
Cool. I'm finished, so go for it.
I hit all mine then. And the Lone Cryptek.
He's got the 5-up bubble of...
Yeah, so units within
6.
6 inches gain the 5-up invulnerable, and units within 3 gain the +1 reanimate.
And just a Staff of Light and nothing else?
Yeah, and just the Staff of Light. Oh, sorry, he will be using the Veil of Darkness.
Is he the Warlord or the Destroyer Lord?
Destroyer Lord is the Warlord with Enduring Will, so reduce all damage by 1 to a minimum 1.
Yep.
And then comes the Wraiths. I'll get them all down.
Please tell me you've got weights on the bottom of these.
Yeah. Definitely.
I ended up putting mine on 50mm bases just to keep them balanced.
Yep.
Of course, I know this army's a little bit older for you, so you don't have an option for that. But
yeah, I probably will be rebasing them though to either bigger bases or yeah, putting more weights on them because sometimes they do fall over.
well, the terrain today is not too bad. Like, there's nothing really heavily angular, so hopefully you'll be all right. But
yeah,
I know when you've got some of the hills and things on other tables, you can end up with them quite wibbly wobbly.
yeah. Aye. Thank you.
So basically, it's
Oh yeah, to that building there.
along the edge there. Depending on how keen you are to get in range of my guns.
Well, not too keen, but at the same time, they have no guns themselves.
Well,
so.
that's true. The funny thing is, as well, you're in a weird position where I actually outrange you with most of my guns, other than the Wraith Guard, really.
Yeah.
So certainly, like the Wraith Knights, 36 and 48, the Plains 36 and 48, the Wave Serpents are 24 and 36.
Yeah.
Actually, it'd be interesting to see how Death Scythes go against Wraiths.
Well, they're 2 damage each, aren't they?
No, they're only 1.
Oh, they're only 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The heavy D Scythe on the Hemlock is 2.
Right. Yeah.
So no, I'm now looking at going, oh, I wish I brought Star Cannons on the Crimson Under, but because the whole army's WYSIWYG, I'm kind of stuck with it. So
Yeah.
okay.
Yes, that's all me deployed then.
All right. Well,
Good luck.
+1 for me because I finished deploying first.
Yeah.
1 and so you're going first.
Unless you'd like to seize.
I'm going to try and seize. Not that it's going to make too much of a difference turn 1.
Yeah.
No, double one. That's going to be going first. I only have 4 command points for this game.
And I have 5.
I'll chuck them up here so we can keep track of them.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm a Vanguard and a Super Heavy Auxiliary.
And I've got 2 Outriders.
Cool. All right, your turn 1.
Alrighty. What do I actually want to do? Because I'm not sure I'm actually going to be able to shoot anything.
No, I think your Heavy Destroyers are going to be too far back, even with a full move.
Yeah. Yeah, 46.
I have to apologise to anyone watching this. I do have a bit of a cough at the moment, so I'll try and avoid into the microphone where I can. So they move 12, don't they?
So destroyers all have a movement of 10.
And a 36 inch, so 46 inches,
Yeah.
so you might sneak a couple of shots in.
Yeah, but then outside of my lovely little defensive zone I've made.
Yeah.
So not going to worry about that one. The Wraiths will advance. Not much there. So we do get, was it plus
+1.
2? So yeah, two extra move characteristic. Oh, so actually, yeah, the destroyers will have a 12-inch move characteristic. Yeah. And then we get, yeah, +1 to all advance. So the Wraiths are sitting on a 14?
Yeah, they move 12. Yeah, so 14.
Yeah, 14, so 16-inch move because of the advance.
Yes. There's an interesting twist for this game. I think it's certainly going to benefit assault units.
Oh yeah. I guess having that 2 extra move isn't too shabby for escaping the assault units as well. Oop.
I'm just thinking about drawing that for any sort of super mobile, like an all battle suit Tau army or a demon army that's dropping in with like a bloodletter bomb.
Yeah.
That you're kind of going, okay, cool, now I'm 3d6 plus 2 with rerolls, and
yeah,
kind of gets a bit terrifying.
So which one had the scythes in it?
Okay, so the turrets match the units. So the solid blue turret is the D scythes, and then the split turret, which is yellow and blue, is the D cannons.
Right. And the scythes are 8-inch range as well, aren't
Yes, they're flamers.
Yeah.
It's just strength 10, neg 4 flamers.
So.
But I can't W out anymore, so.
Yeah. 8.
So 3-inch distant buck, 6-inch move, 8-inch range.
Yeah. So 19. Okie dokie. Oh, these guys will just...
Technically, I suppose it's 20. Because you can, now when you disembark, you don't have to be wholly within 3.
Yeah, good point, yeah.
And they're on a 40 mil base, so technically I suppose it's closer to 20 inches than 20, or even 21.
Yeah. Oh, well, they'll just bounce forwards a tiny
Sit 22
bit.
inches away.
Yeah. Not that they gain any benefits from being in cover anyway, but...
And they're beasts, aren't they? Are they, or they... You're threat and vulnerable anyway. So
yeah, they've got 3 and vulnerable, and I think their armor saves 4+. So
yeah, it is, yeah.
So it doesn't matter at all.
I played my Necrons for the first time just last weekend as the ringer at one of our tournaments, so... Oh, okay, what do these do in 8th edition?
And we'll leave that other Wraith squad there. However, these destroyers will shuffle around a little bit because I realised I'm not actually going to be able to get the destroyer handing out his buffs to everyone at this point.
Oh, of course, because you need him within...
6 inches, so like, I could probably manage it, but just to make sure, like, oh yeah, so just in case, it's these two, and these two are 1 squad.
Yeah.
And these
4, and then the 4 on the other, they're in there.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
It's a little bit messy at the moment.
We'll start killing them and giving you some space.
Yeah. Alrighty. Yeah. Well, I think that's my my turn.
Turn 1.
Yeah. Nice and easy.
Okay. So the Eldar actually get to go first, technically.
Yeah.
In a manner of speaking. So Crimson Hunter's going to turn. It's then going to move, and then it's going to turn again. Because it's Eldar and it likes being cheeky. I like the fact I'm not in range of the destroyers, but it'll end up as a draw hammer scenario, potentially, unless I can get sort of a first blood style hit.
Yeah.
I'm actually in range there already. If I move him... to there. Move him to there. Puts me in 24 with both of them. The Wraith Knight can move over to here. So that's my move. I love my fast game. I'm not going to drop my Warp Spiders. I'm going to hold on to them for a turn.
Okay.
My Psychic phase consists of absolutely nothing because everyone's still embarked. So we're going to go straight to the shooting phase.
Yep.
I'm going to do this back Wave Serpent here at that Wraith squad.
Okay.
And because they're the closest, my Crystal Targeting Matrix will let me fire my scatter lasers without penalty.
Yep.
So Shuriken Cannon, 3 hits, toughness 5 on Wraiths.
Yeah, toughness 5.
So 3s. There's that triple 1. Awesome. 2 scatter lasers. Oh wow, it's going to be one of those games. 3 wounds.
3 wounds.
Yep.
So Wraiths have a 3+ invulnerable.
All good.
Serves them well.
Second wave serpent, same thing.
Yep.
2 hits. 2 wounds.
2 wounds. And takes a wound.
And the scatter lasers. 3 more wounds.
3 more. So you got 1 Wraith on 1 wound.
Cool. The Wraith Knight will fire at them next. So it's got a scatter laser first.
Yep.
Oh, I really should have put the spirit thing on the ground for those rerolls. 2 wounds. Missed the scatter laser.
And fails a save.
Yeah, I killed 1.
So that's 1 down.
I just need to have a quick look up of its star cannon because I haven't. Not star cannon, sun cannon because I haven't actually used it in this edition. So the sun cannon is heavy 2d6, strength 6, neg 3, and 2 damage. Woohoo! 3 shots.
Oh no.
2 hits, 2 wounds.
2 wounds. And 1 goes through, and that was 2 damage.
Yep, 2 damage.
Alrighty, so that's 1 on 1 wound.
I am going to fire the serpent shield of the rearmost wave serpent.
Okay.
Has to be the closest unit within 24, and I know I'm in 24 because my shurikens are in range.
Yep.
So on a 2+, it works. It works. You take. It goes off, and it does 2 mortal wounds.
2 mortal wounds. So we got another 1 on 1.
Crimson Hunter.
Yep.
Same unit. Pulse laser. You don't have the fly keyword on them, do you?
No.
You do on the destroyers, though, don't you?
Yes.
Okay. So 2 pulse laser, 1 wound with a pulse laser.
1 wound. He's alright.
And then the 2 bright lancers. 2 hits. 1 wound.
1 wound. And he's down.
Half the squad. It's not terrible. Still no first blood, though.
Yeah.
Done. Just morale for them.
Yep.
They can't
leadership.
even fail it. No,
They're
they can't.
leadership 10, so yeah, no, they're good for now.
Your turn too.
Alrighty. So.
Super quick turns.
Yeah.
2 hours and 15, no worries with these 2 armies.
Still gonna struggle with
Apologies
getting on the range.
for that.
Right, we'll start with this Wraith squad on the flank here. They'll advance forwards. That brings them to an 18-inch move. I'll zip right down the side here. Wraiths in the middle will also advance forwards. We'll advance forwards. There we are.
So 14?
17.
17.
Yeah, 12-inch
12,
move.
13, 14, 18. 12 base plus 2 for the
14.
twist on the mission is
Oh,
14.
yeah, 18.
Plus
Yeah.
3 plus 1. Yeah. Gonna have to go and punch some of them soon.
Yeah.
Actually, I've seen what happens with a Wraith Knight in Wraiths. The Wraith Knight dies. Although that wasn't in past editions, I don't know what will happen this time.
I think they.
I think they'll just grind each other to bits.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much what's going to happen because you don't instant death me anymore. So.
No.
So 14-inch move. I'll
Get a charge off.
put them nice and close. Unfortunately, Wraiths don't have the fly keyword, otherwise we'll be charging your Crimson Hunter.
Yep.
These destroyers will walk on up, or fly on up. That's the wrong one.
Oh, of course, because there's only one heavy per squad, isn't there?
Yeah.
I really love this this new terrain from Troy. It's created a really interesting ruins. The Dark Angels obviously taking their space and not caring that the populace or the mining colony didn't necessarily last so well.
Just love to move my models without everyone collapsing.
Yeah, we ended up having to extend the holes in their undersides. You make the hole a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
And then you can slide them down past the pin on the top of the flying stand onto the actual stand itself, and they're a lot more stable.
Oh, yeah.
You can make them fit exactly.
Yeah. See, that Cryptek will advance across. Okay, so 2 inches extra.
Just to get himself in bubble range of those destroyers.
Yeah. Come on, guys.
They're just trying to reanimate, that's all.
Yeah. Other than that, the rest will stand still for now.
So shooting, no psychic obviously, shooting phase.
No psychic, so we'll start with this destroyer squad on the far right. On the far side, I should say.
So the main gun will definitely be in range.
And all the Gorse cannons are out,
yep.
But yeah, the heavy Gorse cannon will be in.
Cool.
So needing 3s to hit. Hits.
Wounding on 3, strength 9 from memory.
Yep, strength 9, -4 to saves. So getting a wound through.
Ow. Okay, so no saves.
Gotta love Gorse weapons. So just doing a flat d6. Well, not a flat d6, I should say, but
3.
3.
Alright. And I don't even have Spirit Stones, so I just take the 3 damage. Oh, I actually take 2 damage, sorry. Because this particular serpent
hasn't fired
has
a shield.
Alrighty.
That's my nice and eventful shooting phase over with.
Combat. Charges, I should say.
The Wraiths will charge on to that wave serpent.
Cool. So scatter shuriken cannon. Nothing. Scatter lasers. 2 hits. 1 wound.
1 wound. He's alright.
Cool. They can't fail it, but
yeah. So
for the interest of
how far would they be able to go? Whoa, a mighty 12 inches?
Yeah, for this with this mission twist.
So yeah, might as well just move them straight on in. Don't need to. Yeah.
The reason I put Crimson Hunter in the middle there was specifically so you couldn't.
I couldn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
if
it was method to the madness.
If you killed slightly less of them, I might have been able to.
Yeah. I can't fight obviously, and you charge, so go for it.
Yeah.
3 attacks each.
I'll just have to double check that. I believe they're 3. It's been a while since I've played them.
It seems kind of apt to play them now just before the codex, just so that we can, for prosperity, realise where they've been and where they're going to. So
yeah,
because you've got none of the dynasties or anything.
No. Or any of the fun stratagems.
Yeah.
So just 9 attacks,
yep.
So 3 each.
Hitting on 3s.
Hitting on 3s.
Winning on 5s.
Yep. So strength 6 with -1 to saves. So getting 3 wounds.
So 3 up armor becomes 4 up. So 2 go through.
And they're only 1 damage.
Cool. So 3 attacks back. Nothing.
Anyway, that's it.
So we are all of 22 minutes in, and we're already into my turn 2. Who says you can't play fast 40k?
Yeah.
Okay.
Got to limit the total model count to less than 50 between 2 armies.
Yeah, exactly. So we are 25 inches apart, base to base. So 24 inches. Wraith Knight moves, I want to say 12.
Sounds about right.
Standard, but it might be 14.
He's got big feet. He can move that.
It is 12, so it's 14 under the current rules. So that leaves me 10 inches.
So 9-inch charge with the rules.
That's still too far. I was gonna be gutsy, and then I've gone. We'll just go and
might as well go for guaranteed.
Turn, move, and turn just to be obnoxious. I'm going to get some people out of my wave serpents. Yeah, I think I am. So we're going to disembark. So you've Oh, it's the Wraith. Perfect. That's the Wraith Cannons. Wraith Cannons, the D-sides. Plus Uriel and the Bone Singer. I'm also going to, from the other Wave Serpent, disembark the Spirit Seer.
Oh, yeah.
So, D-sides. Now I don't have to worry about flame templates. Can all stand here looking Uriel at the front there. Spirit Seer there. Oh, sorry, Bone Singer. And then I'll put her down in a second. Then the Wave Serpent's going to move. Up to there. Taking 4 damage. Then the moves 12. She has Falchu's Wing.
Oh, yeah.
She's going to tuck herself in there. Then this Wave Serpent is going to position itself just like that.
Alright.
I have a Psychic phase now. Just realised I've got the Bone Singer and she can heal things.
Oh, yeah.
Don't know if she can heal the Wave Serpent though. So she might just be smiting. I might just smite with her anyway. Yeah, okay. So she'll cast Smite at the Wraiths.
Okay.
Goes off.
I have no way of stopping it.
And does 2 mortal wounds.
It's got 1 gun, 1 wound.
Excuse me guys, sorry about that. The Spirit Seer will cast Jinx
Oh, yep.
on the Wraiths. Goes off.
Yep, can't stop it.
So you're -1 to all your save rolls.
Okay. Not fun.
That is the end of my Psychic phase. So we'll go straight to shooting. I have 5d6 Wraith cannon or D-scythe shooting at you.
Yep.
I actually might double check that because I remember it being 1 dice for the whole unit and it was D3s, not D6s in the index.
Ah.
So before I touch anything, I'm just going to quick look up and make sure I get these rules right. Because I haven't used my Wraiths. For all the games, I just like chopping and changing them too much. So they're D3s, not D6s.
That's a lot nicer.
And it's not. It used to have a rule that said you roll once and multiply it. Now you don't have that. So
Okay.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 hits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and they are strength 10, neg 4, and 1 damage.
Yep. So toughness 5.
So 2s. Oh, how many 1s can I roll?
Oh, wow.
4 1s out of 9 dice. So 5 wounds and neg 1 to your saves.
Neg 1, so it goes to a 4 invulnerable now. Which they're not even worried about.
Jesus. It's nice when I do it with Necrons. It's not nice when someone else does it. So Uriel. Plasma grenades. But you know what? Is he within 3? Yes, he is within 3.
Yep.
So he's going to use his once per game Eye of Wrath.
Oh, yeah.
It's D6 shots. Hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s. Strength 6, neg 2, and 1 damage. So 3 wounds.
3 wounds at 4+. Oh, and the 3 fail. So that's 1 dead.
Yay! Yeah, that's nice. I've got a shuriken pistol on my warlord.
Yeah.
She hits. She wounds.
She wounds, and a 4+, and she kills.
This is what all we needed. We just needed to start shooting shuriken at things. Okay, so the Wave Serpent up the top. Closest target is the Wraith, so I get my Crystal Targeting Matrix bonus. Shuriken Cannon. 2 hits. 1 wound.
1 wound. He's alright.
And then the Scatter Lasers. Too many dice there. Threes.
Oh,
2.
and he takes 1.
Well, that's something, I suppose. Second wave serpent, same thing.
Yep.
Still the closest. So the shuriken cannon. 2 hits, 2 wounds.
And he's gone.
Didn't he have 1 wound left?
He had 2 wounds left and he failed 2 of them because you jinxed him.
Oh, of course, he's jinxed. Yes, I know what I'm doing. So the scatter lasers are now lost. The Wraith Knight will fire at the wraiths in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
Scatter lasers. Oh, it's going to be that. It really has been that game so far. Stark big sun cannon, 6 shots.
Oh,
1 hit.
he's just too excited to
Doesn't
start
wound.
charge.
Oh my gosh. Crimson Hunter at these wraiths over here.
Yep.
Pulse laser. Does nothing. Bright Lancers do 1 wound.
1 wound. And he's alright.
Oh, so bad. Alright, the Wraith Knight charges the wraiths. There we go. All I need. Now, the Wraith Knight has Titanic Feet, I think is his combat weapon these days. So it's 4 base attacks, and it's 3 attacks per thing, so 12 attacks in total.
Mm-hmm.
Hitting on 3s. We'd like to get... Oh, it's not terrible.
Yeah.
And it's Strength User, I believe. Yep, so Strength 8.
Yes.
6 saves in total.
6 saves.
And D3s.
Oh, yeah, and at 3+ invulnerable, 1 goes through.
It does 2 damage.
2 damage. So you've got 1 guy and 1 wound.
Now hopefully your piling's not going to see all of them fight.
Yeah. I reckon we'll see probably, what, 4 of them, maybe, if we're lucky.
Well, yeah, because if he piles in first, I'm in as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, 4.
Alrighty, so that will be 12 attacks. Hitting on 3s, and I believe your toughness 8.
I am indeed.
Yeah, so needing 5s to wound. It's not too many hits.
Good.
Only 1 wound.
3 up armor. No, 4 up armor.
Yeah,
sorry.
4 up.
Takes it.
Almost a draw combat there.
Yeah. That is the end of my turn 2. I do pick up first blood for that particular round though, because I did kill that round. Your turn 3.
Okay.
Half an hour in, turn 3. Like,
Yeah. And there are some people who can't get their games finished.
I think people are going to deploy in half an hour. Because that includes all the deployment as well. We've done pretty well.
Yeah. Well. Let's see.
Trying to decide whether you fall back and shoot him or not.
Well, if everything jumps forwards, I'll be able to shoot him. So I think that'll definitely be the plan. Whether or not I kill him is a different matter.
You got 3s, rerolling 1s, wounding on 5s?
Yeah, wounding on 5s and 3s with the heavy Gorse cannons.
Oh, of course, yeah. And then I've got a 5 up invulnerable.
Yep. I guess D3 damage a gun.
Yeah,
helps
look,
in this.
I mean, they're, what, 6 shots? You're probably going to drop a D3 per squad.
Yeah.
Plus the heavy weapons. So yeah, like you certainly chip away at him.
He'll jump to there. That should hopefully... handing out the invulnerable save. I believe. Yeah, the invulnerable save is 6.
6, yeah.
Oh, better not forget to actually move these guys out of combat, otherwise that would make the whole thing pointless.
What do you want with these ones?
For those ones, they're going to take their place.
Oh, ready to charge.
Yeah. Tag team. So yeah, I'll just jump over.
Oh, they ignore intervening models and terrain, don't they?
Yeah.
I thought I was being sneaky with the Crimson Hunter there, just to kind of make you go around a little bit.
Yeah, so everything should be in 24, except for this squad, who will now jump forwards a little bit. Alrighty. So I guess we'll start with...
All the shooting?
yeah, all the shooting. Since they have a psychic phase, that makes things a lot easier.
Cool.
We'll start with these destroyers here at your Wraith Knight.
Cool.
So going the Gorse cannons first, so two shots apiece.
Yeah.
In 3s.
No rerolls.
No rerolls.
5s.
And 5s, and getting to reroll 1s because of the Destroyer Lord. No, so just one going through.
So 5 of them roll because they're neg 3, aren't they?
Yeah, neg 3.
Saves.
He's alright.
And the heavy cannon?
And the heavy Gorse cannon misses.
So far so good.
Yeah. We'll start with the second squad.
Yep.
Into him as well.
Same thing.
Same thing. So the Gorse cannons, 1 miss.
And fishing for 5s.
And yep, 5s. 2 of them this time.
So 2 fails.
2 fails, and doing D3 damage each. So
That's 6.
that's a good start. And then the heavy Gorse cannon, also missing.
Yay! Big fan of that.
Yeah.
Third squad.
And last but not least, yeah, third squad, same target. 5 hits.
Another 2. No rerolls for the...
Yeah. Getting a reroll on that one there.
Reroll.
So 1,
Takes it.
doing another 1 wound.
He's taken 8 so far.
And let's see if we can actually hit with the heavy Gorse cannon. Hey,
Yes.
got 1. Needing 3s to wound.
It doesn't wound.
Rerolling
Rerolling
ones. Hey, there we go.
No.
And doing 4 wounds,
So he's half dead.
which means nothing to him
No.
because Iyanden.
Does absolutely nothing. He still counts as having 24 wounds.
Yeah. Well, that's all my shooting, so I guess we'll go into the charges.
Cool. Scout laser on Overwatch. And stun cannon gets... Now it's going to be when it rolls. Yeah, of course it is.
Yeah.
Look, you know what? If I get a sort of compensation for how terrible its last shooting phase was,
Yeah, you should hit with most of them this time then.
One.
Oh, or not.
it wounds,
Oh, it goes through.
and it's 2 damage.
2 damage. So we got this guy on 1 wound. And then,
They
yeah,
can't fail.
guaranteed charge. So we'll just shuffle on in.
15 attacks.
Yep, 15 attacks. 3, 9, 12, and 15.
3s and then 5s.
Yeah, 3s and 5s. That's pretty good.
Ew.
If only 6s meant something.
4.
4 wounds.
4 plus armor. And of course I fail all 4 of them. Because that's what I'm doing today. I still count as full, so I'm still going to swing back 12 times. Doesn't matter though, because the dice have clearly decided today is not my day to actually hit with anything.
Yeah.
5 saves.
5 saves. 3 going through. That's not bad.
So 3 of them go through.
So the first one
D3s. So the first one dies.
just dies,
So
yeah.
that's 2 remaining. The next one takes 1. Of course he does.
Because killing a whole model would be too much to ask for.
Oh look, you know, it's that game. That's fine.
So I think that's everything for my turn then.
This is weird. My turn 3. You have left me a beautiful, beautiful gap.
Oh yeah,
Which gives me your Crypt Deck as the closest enemy model.
that may have been a mistake.
As soon as you gave me that gap, I went, oh, that's glorious. That's what this Exarch is made to do. So I'm very pleased that you've given me that little opportunity there. Thank you very much.
He'll be fine. With how your dice have been rolling, he'll probably end up with more wounds.
It regenerates. I really want to be in range of those destroyers again.
Ah, go on. You know you want to.
I actually want the opportunity to heal him, and I'm just trying to figure out how best to do that. Oh, if I go that way. That was a 4.
Oh, yeah.
Now he's getting cover from those destroyers. So she's going to move 7 to be within 3.
Mm-hmm.
How am I going to deal with this? So, I'm going to get that other unit of Wraith Guard out, at least on the Wave Serpent. Let's see if Wraith Cannons will help. And they need to be within 12. Beautiful. And then this Wave Serpent. About yeah. Wave Serpent will move down, and everyone will re-embark.
Yep.
Except the Spirit Seer. She's going to move across to here. She's actually going to move a little bit further because she's got wings of Falchi's wing. So a 12-inch move will bring her to there.
Mm-hmm.
Which is fine because it puts me in range of the Wraiths. So that's everyone moved. So we'll go to the shooting phase now. Actually, we'll go to the psychic phase first because I will not forget it. So I'm going to heal D3 wounds on the Wraith Knight with my...
Do you want to do your Warp Spiders? Since it's turn 3?
It's a fairly decent idea. We've had so few turns, it's like, oh, you know, just power through. I can even put them down here as well. I didn't think you'd give me that gap.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
I was kind of resigned to them having to land in mine and just hold my objective, and as soon as everyone flew out, I went, oh, now I can have your shields. So 9 inches is there, and then 9 inches pushes into there. Make sure I got that right. So I'm just going to have to come back. Like that. Perfect. Good on your Warp Spiders. Okay, so D3 wounds back on the Wraith Knight.
Yep.
I'm going to spend a command point to reroll that one because I'm getting sick of that. Of course not. Okay, Psychic phase. My Spirit Seer is going to cast Jinx on this unit of Wraiths.
Yep. Yeah.
That's the only thing that's been successful so far.
The only thing I can't stop you doing, you pass automatically every time.
Yep. That's always the way. Okay, so we'll start with the Wraith Guard then.
Yep.
Wraith Guard at the Wraiths. Winning on 3s. 3 wounds.
Are they not strength 10?
Strength. Oh, of course they are. So winning on 2s.
Yep.
So 4 wounds.
And going to a 4+ invulnerable?
Yep.
Ooh, 3 going through. That's not good.
So the first one dies.
Yeah.
And then the second one's going to take 4 damage. And the third one's going to take 4 damage.
Whew, that hurts.
Good Wraith things.
Showing the D sides how it's done.
Yeah, well, clearly that's the only thing that is going to work. Active decision. Okay, so the Wave Serpent will try and finish this last one.
Yep.
Shuriken Cannon. 2 hits. 1 wound. Well, it's rending.
These are right.
And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, scatter lasers. Oh my god, we're actually hitting. I've just said that now, I've just jinxed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Only 4.
4. And he's on 2 wounds.
Cool. The Wraith Knight will fire at him.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the Wraith Knight will. Scuttle laser. 2 wounds.
And he's gone.
Oh, of course he fails them both, and I waste my big gun.
Yeah.
But that's okay. Now, I'm assuming I'm within 24 of those Wraiths. Easy.
Yeah.
Cool. So, because you're now the closest, my Crystal Targeting Matrix kicks in.
Mm-hmm.
So, scatter lasers at the Wraiths. Deal 4 damage.
He's alright.
And Shuriken Cannon. Nothing.
No.
I'm going to fire its Serpent Shield.
Okay.
It goes off and deals 1 mortal wound.
So that finishes him off.
Spend a command point. Do it again. It goes off and deals 3 mortal wounds.
Nice.
Crimson Hunter at your crypt deck.
Yep.
Who foolishly decided to be the one at the back.
Heroically leading from behind.
Pulse laser. There we go. Toughness 4.
Yep.
Ah. 2. Of course it's 2. Riot Lancers. 2 hits. Watch double 1.
There you go.
Apparently not. Neg 4.
So just going as 5 up invulnerable. Ooh, that's not going to
He's
be
going
fun.
to take 6 damage.
He's gone.
Not the Warlord, but
Not the Warlord.
totally worth the kill. Because there's no reanimation bonuses, there's no invulnerables. That was actually really worth the kill. Okay, so the Warp Spiders will now target the Destroyers.
Mm-hmm.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, because we've got dual spinners on the X-Arc. 3s. I should have brought you guys on 1, apparently.
Yeah.
Strength 6.
Times 5.
3s. 6 damage, however that one there is at neg 4.
Oh, yep. So that one just goes straight through.
I'll just double check it's neg 4. I'm 90% sure it will be.
Right, and what are the other ones? Just
There should be no AP, but I'm just going to double check for you for the Spider's weapons. So, strength 6, AP 0, but anytime I roll of a 6, it's neg 4.
Alright, so yeah,
So-
just one goes straight through, and then 5 3+ saves. So
Kill 1
that's
destroyer.
1 destroyer down. Just put him over here for later.
In case he stands back up.
Yeah.
Just fired. Your turn. Turn 4.
Okay. Now your Warlord was this bloke down here,
Yep.
isn't it?
$14,
So,
15, so it's going to be like a 10-inch charge.
yeah. I'm just going to get shot anyway, so might as well
Have a crack at it.
have a crack at it.
So 14 puts them on the balcony of that
Yeah.
building.
So I'll put him just in there.
So he's as far forward as it gets anyway.
Yeah.
And it's essentially a 10-inch charge.
Yeah.
Which is where you get the +1 from, and then you get within 1 inch.
Yeah.
You have to multi-charge the Wraith Knight as well.
Yeah, that's... But after last time, I'm not too worried about that. Oh, actually. And I should see if he gets
Yep,
up,
go for it.
which he
Nope.
does not.
You keep rolling for him anyway.
Oh, it's true. It doesn't. It's not once anymore.
No.
Woo! Alright, well, everyone's going to go back into their...
Yep. Sacrifice the wave serpent, the warp spiders for the for the greater good.
And Destroyer Lord will bounce back, since he can charge the Crimson Hunter.
Well, of course. Although that'll be interesting if I do manage a couple of hits on Overwatch.
Yeah. I'm almost convinced I'm going to lose my Warlord to the Overwatch, but...
It's the only time I've been hitting anything.
Yeah. These guys will bounce back as well.
That +2 inches of movement for this mission has made a real difference, actually, particularly to those destroyers.
Yeah.
Although that Crimson Hunter's now in the way.
Yeah, rather annoyingly.
Just as planned. Although I'm assuming that it's also going to cop a boatload of Gorse Fire as well.
Yeah, maybe a handful of shots.
Depending on how those Warp Spiders get on.
Yeah. So, speaking of Gorse Fire shots, shooting phase.
Go for it.
Yeah, so we will go the 2 Gorse cannons from that squad into the Warp Spiders,
Yep.
and the heavy Gorse cannon into the Crimson Hunter.
Now, 2 things with the Warp Spiders.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you can do your
First
jump.
of all, which I forgot to do when I landed them, I have to roll 2 dice, and on a 2, one of them dies.
Are all good.
Secondly, when this weapon unit is targeted by a ranged weapon, I can declare that they will make a flicker jump, which I'm doing, at -1 to hit. However, I do have to do that again.
Oh, yeah.
No, so no one dies, but they're now -1 to hit.
Is it just for that shooting attack or for the rest of the phase?
Into the face.
Okay. Oh, so still hitting on 4s though?
Yep, it just means that if you had full rerolls and things, those sorts of things, it modifies that. But
Yeah.
you don't, so it doesn't matter.
So 4s, re-rolling. Oh, there we go. Oh, there you go. The flicker jump did work.
That actually works. Yay. 3s.
Yep. Re-rolling 1s. No. So 2 going through at -3.
So 6s.
And then the heavy Gorse cannon from that squad up at the Crimson Hunter.
-1 to hit because it's a flyer.
Yeah. And 2s as usual. This squad, same again. We'll go all the Gorse cannons into the Warp Spiders and the heavy up at the Crimson Hunter.
Cool.
So 6 into the Warp Spiders. Good job. And 3s again. Re-rolling the 1s. 5 wins this time.
Cool. Probably the squad dead.
Yeah.
Hey, look, it took 5 destroyers to. It's actually a decent exchange.
Yeah, it's not actually that shabby.
All I needed was 1 to live.
Yeah.
Because leadership 9, reroll failed morale.
Yeah, they're either going to hang
I just
around.
needed 1 there
Yeah.
to just be a really irritating model that you have to kill turn 5.
Yeah, or drag another squad of destroyers shooting at them.
Yeah.
But the heavy up at the Crimson Hunter hits this time.
Needing 6.
So 3s to wound. -4.
So no save.
Oh, yeah, so just doing 3. You know what? I'll spend one of my command points. And
Make
4.
it 4. So you're down to 4 command points. I've still got 1 remaining.
Oh, yep. And then last squad, just everything at the Crimson Hunter.
Cool.
So the 6 Gorse cannon shots. Getting the reroll 1s. 4.
Hits, winning on 4.
5s.
5s.
Yeah, toughness 6.
Toughness 6.
Yeah. And 3 wounds at -3.
Nope.
And doing, in total, 6, 8 wounds.
I think that kills it. It's only got 12 wounds. Uh, 12 wounds. So does it crash and burn? I think I need a 6 for it to crash and burn.
Yeah, I think so.
Yes, it does. Do I have to spend my last command point to try and make it blow up? No, I better not.
Yeah, 'cause how many mortal wounds does it do in the explosion?
It's only D3.
Yeah.
If it was D6, I'd probably risk it.
Yeah.
Because you had it all lovely clustered there. It's a 6-inch radius as well, so
So it would have hit everyone, I
it
think.
would have probably hit everyone. And if it was D6 mortal wounds, I probably would have tried it, but
Yeah.
that's alright. Hey, look, he got an assassin run that I was very happy with, so I can't
Yeah.
complain. Alright, multi-charge?
Yep.
Alright. Come on, let's kill something. Scale laser. Woo, I got a hit. It
Do you
wounds.
not get the reroll 1s for the Spirit Seer? Whereas
I have to be within range of you for a Spirit Seer, I believe.
Right.
Not... Like, I have to be... It's a really silly rule.
you have to be in range of the unit you're shooting at and the unit you're...
Can reroll hit rolls of 1 for friendly Spirit Host units that attack enemy units that are within 6.
Right.
So my Spirit Seer has to be standing as close as possible to you for me to get that reroll. 1 wound.
1 wound.
It's
He's
the
all
most
good.
ridiculous rule.
Yeah.
I get 11 shots with the main gun.
He's better with that on the Overwatch than...
He got more shots then than he has the rest of the game firing normally.
Yeah.
Only one hit. Yep. Which wounds?
He's good.
Oh, there was never any doubt, really.
Yeah. And so was it needing a 10?
Well, it was a 10 to get her, but it's obviously going to be less to get him. So
Yeah. So aiming for a 10.
A 10, anything less is... Oh, that's actually not that great.
6, so 7 inches. So we will reach the Wraith Knight.
You will reach the Wraith Knight just.
Now, will a 6-inch charge still reach the Wraith Knight? Sorry, a 5-inch charge. That would still reach the Wraith Knight, I believe. So even, because I'm contemplating command pointing it, but I don't want to then fail, potentially give myself the chance to fail.
Well,
So-
remember, it's going to be a diagonal,
Yeah,
because technically you're down here. 'cause
That's
we've
true,
got
yeah.
terrain.
yeah.
So we can go straight out. So
So we're
a
looking
7, a 7 makes it, a 6 won't.
Okay. You know what? Here comes the 1. Yep. So, yeah.
Right, moving on.
Well, at least I didn't lose anyone to the Overwatch.
Well, that's true. That's the end of your turn 4.
Yep.
We are an hour in, and it's my turn 4. That's amazing. Although it's at this point, I think First Blood's going to be the thing that tips it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's, I don't know, if your Spirit Seer perils the next 2 turns in a row, something like that.
Let's not joke about that. So I've used all my Serpent Shields. So realistically, it's now just a case of everyone killing those wraiths.
And then just stick my tongues out at each other for the next couple of turns.
Oh no, that Wraith Knight's coming for you. I just wish I could heal it before it moved, but I can't, so...
Yeah.
Okay, so the Wraith Cannons only need to move a little bit to make sure they're all in range. I'm just trying to decide whether I get that Spirit Seer to try and get her within 6 to try and trigger the rule. She's going to have to stand there to trigger the rule. And you know what? Let's try and make this assured.
No kill like overkill.
We'll get everyone out. Your robots aren't as good as my robots, apparently.
Yeah. But to be fair, I haven't attacked your robots yet.
No. My robots are cunning as well.
Yeah. Put them in front of the destroyers, then see how...
I'm thinking no. So she's going to move to there. He's going to move to there. But within 3 of her.
Uh-huh.
Excuse me. Still got one more turn. Oh, I don't think I'm going to be able to get to that objective, even with an advanced move. So I move 14 normally, add 2 is 16, plus 1, 17, so it's 20, even at 40 inches.
Like, you get within range, but then you'd have to try and clear off every single destroyer.
Yeah, getting you off that objective is almost impossible at this moment. So I'm going to go like that, so that way we have our own objective. Because that'd be the worst way to lose the game, is to not control my own.
Yeah.
But I reckon that other Wave Serpent, now it has deployed, doesn't lose anything by actually seeing what we can shoot down. So, in the psychic phase, we're going to heal the Wraith Knight.
Mm-hmm.
2 wounds this time.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. The Spirit Seer is going... Is she going to jinx? There's an awful lot of shots there. I shouldn't need to jinx, but I'm going to jinx. She passes again.
Yep.
So the Wraiths are jinxed. That's the end of the psychic phase. Going to the shooting phase. She's within 6. So those 5 Wraith Cannons are firing first.
Mm-hmm.
Totally worth her being within 6.
Yeah.
2s.
So 4 wounds at 4+. And that's
so
3.
the first one takes 3. The second one takes 4. The last one takes 6.
Ouch.
And everyone says you take D sides. I'm not seeing it. Okay, so that leaves most of my army now without a target to shoot.
My cunning plan.
So, Wave Serpent will fire at the closest unit destroyers.
Yep.
Shuriken. Sorry, Scatter Laser, not Shuriken. This is the Crystal Targeting Matrix. 4 wounds.
4 wounds. So they're in the ruins, yes?
They're infantry, aren't they? So yes,
Yep.
they're going to get 2+ armor.
It's 2 plus.
Apparently it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And the Shuriken. 1 wound. Where
He's
was my
alright.
6 then, which would have killed one?
Yeah.
Okay, Wraith Knight, same unit.
Mm-hmm.
Scatter Laser. 2 wounds.
2 wounds. 2 up again. He's alright.
2d6 shots.
Oh.
9. Of course, only 5.
Why would we expect any different from him?
He does have wounds.
Yeah.
Now, the Sun Cannon, I don't know whether it's neg 2 or neg 3. I believe it's neg 2.
Hopefully neg 2.
I'd much prefer it to be neg 3, but I'm not holding out hope for that. Sun Cannon, neg 3.
Neg 3.
And 2 damage.
So he goes to a 5 plus armor save. Because of the 2 plus in the ruins. 2 going through.
So 2
first-
damage each.
First one kills a guy. And second one puts him on 1 wound.
Okay, not terrible. Trying to decide whether I charge you with that Wave Serpent. But you got Fly, so it doesn't actually gain me anything to make you fall back.
Nah.
But it also does put me further up the board.
Yeah.
And I don't lose anything because there's no kill points or anything, so I'm going to charge that Destroyer unit.
Yep. I'll try and overwatch you. So the Gorse Cannons. With the reroll 1s. Nope. And the Heavy Gorse Cannon. Nope.
Charge roll is 3! I'm not spending a command point on that.
No.
Your turn 5.
Okay. Well, we'll start with the reanimates. So on this squad. Yeah, he comes back.
All that hard work. Well, it is hard work. The Wraith Knight's just being hard work today. He's not doing anything.
And the squad up the back there, he also comes back.
One of the downsides of Wraiths, of course, is they don't... Although you could have spent command points to give them reanimate, I suppose.
Yeah, but it was 2 command points to
Maybe
get a couple back. If I had a Cryptek near him for the +1 reanimates,
Yeah.
might have given it a shot, but yeah. Well, I do still have 4 command points, don't I?
You 3.
3. Well, okay. This guy will move to here. These destroyers will shuffle. I'll hopefully get them all within 24. Yep. See. I'll stay there. These guys will shuffle up to here. Right. Thank you. That should put him just within range. And then these guys will bounce up as well.
The Temple of Fallen Space Marines is not having a good day.
And slightly overrun with Necrons at this point.
Because they keep getting back up.
Yeah. There we are. And he'll go to there. So we'll start with shooting phase. This squad up the back here into the Wave Serpent. So the Gorse Cannons. Rerolling 1s. So 5 hits and
Only got
5s. 3 wounds. Sorry, 2 wounds. I can math.
Nothing.
and doing 3 wounds in total.
It's taken 7, it has 6 remaining.
There we go. And the heavy Gorse Cannon hits and wounds at -4, doing 3 wounds.
Still alive on 3 wounds remaining.
3 wounds remaining. Yeah, we're not going to use a command point for that. Got lots of destroyers left. This squad will fire 3 Gorse Cannons into him and the heavy Gorse Cannon at the Wraith Knight.
Okay.
So the Gorse Cannons, re-rolling the 1s, all hit, and 5s, 1 wound.
Ha!
Ah, God damn it.
There's that 6. Just take that 4 off him, he's going to get 3 remaining.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Otherwise I'll hit thinking he's...
Yeah,
Yeah.
some weird number. And 3, the heavy Gorse Cannon into the Wraith Knight. Hits. Wounds.
Saves.
Nice. So you've got 3 wounds left.
He does have 3 as well.
You know what, we'll go... yeah, make sure he dies. 3 Gorse Cannons into there, and the heavy into him.
Cool.
So the Gorse
When
Cannon...
these become 3 shots each, it's going to be scary.
Oh yeah, 3 shots and strength 6.
Yeah.
6
6
hits.
winning on 5s.
Winning on 5s. Re-rolling the 1s. 2 wounds.
I saved one of them. So it's D3, you need a 5 or a 6.
Come on. Hey, there we go.
There we go. Doesn't matter if it explodes.
Oh yeah.
There's no one nearby for it to explode on.
There we go.
And the heavy cannon.
And the heavy cannon hits.
Winning on 3s.
Wounds.
There's that invul again.
He's got one thing going for him. His invulnerables aren't too bad. But that makes it my turn done.
Alright. My turn 5. So, don't really want to give up Warlord, but she's also quite useful to have to cast Smite. So,
Yeah.
as much as I desperately want her to bounce down the table and shoot you, I don't think that's my best course of use for her. And there's no way I'm going to be able to let you... There's like no one going to get closer to her. So she can just move onto the objective.
Mm-hmm.
This squad's going to embark. And then Wave Serpent's going to advance.
Yep.
It's going to advance 5 inches because of the mission-specific rule, and it's moving 16. So it's 21 inches of movement.
Yeah, if I hadn't blown up my Cryptek, would have had a nice little Veil of Darkness I could chuck down the back there. But
Yeah, well that's it. Now he's dead, I can afford to do this.
Yeah.
The Wraith Guard. So she moves 7, so it's only 10 inches. Plus, yeah, see, that's nowhere near enough. So the Wraith Knight's only taken 13 wounds, so it's still technically got 22 wounds on chart, so it still moves its full rate.
Yep.
It's got a 14-inch move. I'm going to come and charge you. Try and punch you in the face. So she's going to move. You know what? She'll advance. So she's now moving 10. She's moving 15 inches. Oh, hang on. That might actually work.
Yeah.
Hey, there we go. I didn't expect that. The Wraith Guard will advance. Ah, there we go. There's the one back.
Yeah.
It's only 9 inches. And Uriel. So it's 8, 7. So it's 9 inches base, 10, so it's 13 inches.
Speedy elves.
So Psychic Phase, I'm going to heal D3 on the Wraith Knight.
Mm-hmm.
Get back another 2. She's down here chilling doing nothing, so that's the end of my Psychic Phase.
Alright.
In the shooting phase, it's just going to be the Wraith Knight, I think. Oh no. Shoot my Shuriken cannons at them because it's an assault weapon.
Yep.
So Shuriken cannons from that at the closest unit.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter. Wraith Knight firing at them.
Yep.
We go back to the dice that are actually rolling something half decent. So scatter laser at the closest unit of destroyers. Winning on 3s. 2 wounds.
2 wounds. 2+, because they're cover. No.
1 dead.
1 dead, and he is on...
2 wounds.
We put him on 2 wounds.
Sun cannon fires 8 shots.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, sun cannon.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's actually half decent. That's really good.
Wow.
6 wounds.
Ouch.
No. Yeah, 6.
6. So what was it?
Negative
Negative 3, wasn't it? So 5+ armor. Ooh. So 2 damage each,
Yeah,
aren't
2
they?
damage each. So
Just
it kills 1.
So that kills the whole squad.
Oh, it does 2.
You know what? I'm going to command point one of those. Ah,
No, kills the whole squad.
still gone. Oh no.
Dong, 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 dong. I actually think that puts me out of charge.
Quite possibly.
Which is good and slightly frustrating.
Yeah, killing the whole squad is always nice, but...
Oh no, it's going to be an 11-inch charge if I want to try it, because I'm just over 11 inches away.
Oh yeah, and then you get the +1.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, look, you know what? I've now got 11 wounds remaining. You're only hitting on 6s. I'm going to charge that closest unit of destroyers.
Okay, I'll shoot back at you then. So, the Gorse Cannons. Rerolling 1s. Nothing. And the Heavy Gorse Cannon. Nothing.
Alright, I've got 1 command point left. Got 6s on one of these dice, I'm taking that.
or 6s on both dice.
So, now I am within 12 because despite the change the max charge duration.
Yeah.
So that actually puts me. Oh!
Yeah, it's taken him 5 turns, but he's finally pulling his weight.
No, I can't argue with that. That's pretty impressive. So he's going to do 12 attacks on the squad.
Oh dear.
8, 10, 12. He's still going to
With everything.
it pretty badly, but that's okay. He's going to deal 2 wounds.
And he was doing so well.
We were doing really well. I believe these are at neg 2.
Neg 2.
From Colossal Feet, I believe is neg 2. Titanic Feet, neg 2.
Neg 2, so 5+. 1 goes through.
And it's D3.
D3, okay.
3!
And he squishes 1. Alrighty.
Pile in, fire back.
So pile in. Double check, because normally these guys don't get into combat, but I believe they're 1 attack at strength 4 each.
Yeah, they're not super impressive in combat.
Yeah.
Excuse me again. Funny, the last time he came out, he got gunned to bits, and then he's fled away, even healed a couple of turns, and now he's come back and gone, oh, I remember how to do this now.
Yeah. They're actually 2 attacks base.
Oh, there you go. And they're getting reroll 1s, or is that only in shooting?
I believe it's... Well, I can reroll 1s to hit all the time, and I believe the Destroyer Lord's reroll he gives is the same. Or is, yeah, reroll 1s to wound all the time. Reroll 1s to wound in the shooting phase, but reroll hits of 1 all the time.
Okay. So there's 6 attacks hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s.
Yep, and then they're in strength 4, so
And winning on
6s.
6s.
So rerolling 1s, oh, that was cocked. Yep.
So 3 hits, winning on 6s.
Nothing. Alrighty.
And they don't care about morale, because I only squished 1.
Yep, so they're alright.
That's our 1 hour warning to say we've only got 1 hour left.
So only got, what, 2 turns left if it keeps going?
Well, yeah, this is about to be your turn. This is the bottom of 5.
Yeah.
So you went first, so you get to roll it.
Alright, so 3+.
That is
Game over. Good game.
Which I, believe it or not, I actually pick up a point for line breaker.
Yes, yeah, you do.
And then we get 3 points for each of the primaries.
Hi, I'm Emma, and I'm joined by Mike and Alex today for our battle report.
Yeah, we've just knocked off our. I think was this one of the first games we've ever played against each other?
Yeah, well, it's either the first game or the first one in a very long time, I think.
I don't think we've ever. I'm trying to think back to the Armada war game days, and I don't remember us ever playing a game at a tournament or anything like that.
Yeah, I can't remember like a particular time, but yeah.
That's all right. Then I'm one up. This is awesome.
One for one. Yes.
One for one is all I can ask for.
Okay, so today's game was a 750-point game
It was
with
1,750 points.
that's slightly different.
It
Today's
is.
game was 1,750-point Necron versus Craftworld Eldar.
Yeah, Alex. This is an army that Alex did a few years ago now, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's kind of a mix of two armies. Because I used to do a Wraith army with flyers or a Destroyer cult, and I kind of mixed the two.
Was that 4th or 5th edition?
I think it was the flying one, or the one with the flyers. I think it was 5th and 6th edition, because I took it to a couple of ATCs.
Yeah, well, I remember it coming to Ultimates as well at one point there.
Yeah, it came to the last Ultimates.
So that was
2015 or 2014?
14 or 13, I would have said.
Yeah, 14 or 13, yeah.
And yeah, my Craftworld Eldar that I used today were my Iyanden Wraiths, so they're around the same era. They went to an Ultimate somewhere in 2010, 2012, one of the two, somewhere around that sort of space.
Okay, so if you hand the mic over to Alex, because I'm going to shoot my first question through to him.
Okay.
What was today's mission?
So today we're using the open war cards. I can't remember the exact name of the mission, but it was basically draw hammer. So you have one objective in each deployment zone, and as we found out towards the end of the mission, we actually played it wrong. It's actually if you hold both objectives at any point in the game.
At the end of the turn.
At the end of the turn, at the end of your opponent's turn, if you hold both objectives, you win the game immediately. We thought it was traditional draw hammer, so if you hold the objective, you get 3 points. So that's how we played it at the end of turn 5. As we later found out, Mike still won anyway towards the end there.
So it's always good to have like a little lesson that comes out of these games, and I think today's lesson might be read the mission carefully, closely. Make sure you know what it is that you're actually playing as you're going into the game, and that may help you work towards winning the game.
Oh, there wasn't a player's pack for me to read, so
There was a card for you to read, though. All right. So, Mike, going in, where did you think that your advantage would lie?
The biggest part for the armies that we played today, my army's reasonably short-ranged. All my heavy guns were, but Alex was just as handicapped. So I kind of figured I could sit, because we were playing Hammer and Anvil, so we were essentially playing along the length of the table. And it meant that I could deploy almost 100% safe for turn 1, knowing that he was going first, meant that I could kind of go, like, when we rolled off, obviously I had the +1, Alex won the roll off, but I deployed far enough back and as a contingency, so that he essentially wasn't shooting me turn 1. I think we got through the first 2 turns in about 20 minutes. Yeah. And there was very little shooting from me either, and it was going to be a stalemate as long as we kind of kept going what we were doing. So both of us committed around turn 2 and turn 3, and when the dust settled, a couple of sneaky moves from my behalf meant that Alex had to pull the destroyers back further to cover an opening he'd given me, which let me advance to the halfway mark. And at the bottom of 5, we kind of worked out the points that as you would normally from Drawhammer, and I was winning on points. And then we said, oh, you know what, we've played 5 turns, the game's ended on a dice roll, but we've only been playing just over an hour, let's play the other 2 turns and see what happens, which meant that by the time we hit the bottom of 7, Alex, you had 1 destroyer on 1 wound, and the Destroyer Lord.
yeah.
And I'd finally gotten to his end of the table. So the advantage for me was always going to be being able to deal with him in 2 parts. Because Alex had brought the defense line. If he'd just swarmed me with everything, which is what you should have done, then I couldn't have stopped him. It would have been a lot bloodier in the middle of the table. As it stood, you gave me a Wraith unit, and I killed it, and then you gave me another Wraith unit, and I killed it, and you gave me another Wraith unit, and I killed it, and then the destroyers had to pull out, and you kind of you drip fed me.
Yeah, in hindsight, I should have done what you suggested at the end of the game, which was put the defense line at the edge of my deployment zone. Yeah. And at least then the destroyers could have supported everything else. But being Drawhammer, I thought, I'll just try and hold my objective, and so put it at the very end of the table, which doesn't work.
No, if it had been towards the center of the board, it would have given Alex the opportunity. So those destroyers essentially would have controlled the midfield, which meant that I either hang out of the midfield, which gives him the ability to put pressure on my objective with the Wraiths, or I have to push into the Wraiths to then through the Wraiths and then into the destroyers to try and dig him out. And either of those options isn't particularly fun because you outshot me at that point.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, so it was always nice to have the benefit of hindsight. So, Alex, same question. Before you actually got started, where did you think that your advantage was going to lie in the game?
I reckon my advantage mainly was in that all of my models were both, well, they're very durable, I guess was my thing. So I knew Mike's shooting was quite strong, but I kind of hoped that it wouldn't do so much against my 3-up invulnerables, and I'd be able to, like, at least weather the fire, get into combat or get the Wraiths into combat where I knew Mike couldn't really handle that, and then just have the destroyers with their more powerful guns, or more powerful at that range they had to deal with Mike's army, because it was only really once Mike got to short range that he could do the huge amounts of damage. That was my plan. I didn't actually execute that plan.
It's always nice to have a plan. Sometimes it's good to put that in place,
Yeah,
but at least you started with a plan. Yeah.
Yeah, whether you follow it during the game is a different matter.
Yeah. So where did you think that you would struggle in the game?
I always thought my struggle would probably be possibly with the Wraith Knight, just because he is such a big model, it's just such a durable model. I wouldn't be able to deal with it, and he'd just be able to tie up whatever he felt like tying up or kill whatever he ended up killing. As it turned out, he didn't actually do much, but other than that, it was more, I'd say Mike had in ways more mobility, because having a flyer meant quite a lot, and as it turned out, blew up on my characters because I made a mistake. But it was also the Wave Serpents are extremely fast and can deliver his Wraith Guard to wherever he felt like putting them, whereas my list, although very fast as well, was maybe that little bit slower than Mike's one. But other than that.
And Mike, what models did you think were going to be the biggest threats?
I've actually played with my Necron army that I haven't used in a little while now, only a couple of days ago down at the last tournament we ran.
Yeah.
And
Linebreaker down in Albany.
And I love my destroyers. I've got 12 of them myself. So when Alex put 12 of them down today, I went, oh, okay, that's going to not be nice. And the only saving grace I had, like I mentioned, was the fact that he deployed them so far back. It meant I kind of went, I don't have to worry about them. I can kill the Wraiths. And while I stayed in my vehicles, the Wraiths weren't necessarily a huge threat to me because they couldn't engage the flyer. They only did a couple of wounds to the Wraith Knight. Yeah. And they almost as ineffective against the Wave Serpent as they are the Wraith Knight. So I was able to kind of, when he charged the vehicles, I waited, took a couple of damage, and then everyone piled out and just blew the Wraiths off the table, unit after unit. I also think the main advantage I had there was the 2 Psykers that I had in the army. You had no way of stopping them. Yeah. And between Jinx, which was making the Wraith save a 4+, not a 3+, which was a significant drop, and then being able to heal the Wraith Knight every turn, which was amazing. That Wraith Knight, he survived the game on 4 wounds.
I think it was 3.
No, he was up in his next bracket for turn 7, so he must have been at least 4 or 5 wounds. And unlike most of these sorts of models, when you're in an Iyanden army, you double the amount of wounds you have remaining before you compare chart. So even though he only had 4 wounds remaining, he counted as having 8 wounds remaining, which meant that his damage bracket went up. So he was faster, more accurate than a normal Wraith Knight would be. So he spent the whole game, I think you did 11 or 12 wounds in the first time you shot at him. Yeah. And then he spent the whole game somewhere between 3 wounds and 12 wounds as I healed him and he took damage, and I healed him and he took damage, and I healed him and he took damage. Yeah. And you never quite put him down. No. You must have done 30-something, 34 wounds, 36 wounds. I'm sure we could watch the video back and figure it out, but he survived an awful lot. He's still not my man of the match, though. The Crimson Hunters execution run was amazing. Yeah. Alex left he brought all the destroyers out to try and kill the Wraith Knight, and left the Crypt Deck right at the back of the detachment, who has 2 aura buffs, which meant that all the destroyers were almost impossible to put down. But by leaving him at the back, it meant my flyer covered the length of the table and made sure that the character was the closest model, which then allows me to target the character. And then I shot him with 4 anti-tank guns. And that one it cost me the Crimson Hunter to do it, but that one execution run meant that as I was killing destroyers later in the game, they actually stayed dead, mostly, because you had a few get up. But Yeah, that one gap. I've had that a couple of times now, particularly with the Eldar flyers who can turn and then move and then turn again. They can come from here and be at the other side of the table, killing something that you didn't think they had an angle on really rapidly. And I love that about them because they get in there and just take stuff out.
And so, Alex, what was your man of the match?
I don't think I really have a single man of the match. Because like none of the models really stood out. The Wraiths all died without achieving much. The Cryptek, did his thing with the with the Crimson Hunter, but I'd say possibly I'd just say the Destroyers, I guess as a whole, were the man of the match because they were the only ones that achieved anything. But
Did you have a model that you thought, oh, that was just a waste of points putting that on the table?
Actually, the Cryptek. None of his abilities actually came into effect before he died, so it was actually him.
Oh.
Although, technically, without him, my list, well, actually, wouldn't have been illegal, but I would have been down a command point. But yeah.
Yeah. All right. And so you said that you had a plan going in, and it didn't sort of come to fruition. How did you find that your strategy changed as the game went on, and as you saw it unfolding?
Well, as my Wraiths all got killed, my plan went from kind of holding the objective with my Destroyers and pushing forwards my Wraiths to just trying to hold on.
Yeah.
As soon as I lost my advancing element, there was no other choice I had. I didn't have the numbers to push into Mike's deployment zone and steal his objective away from him. So I kind of had to just make do and weather the storm for as long as possible.
And Mike, did you have a strategy when you were going into the game, and how did you find that changed, or did you stick to it as you went through the game?
Well, look, it kind of worked the way I'd hoped it would, and like I said, if Alex had deployed everything right up close and then everything had come at once, then I would have had no option but to fall back and try and, keep the gap significant. One of the twists for this particular mission that we had from the cards meant that everything moved faster.
Mm-hmm.
So everything moved 2 inches faster in the movement phase, and they got a +1 to advance and charge rolls as well. So all of a sudden, those Destroyers aren't moving 10 inches, they're moving 12 inches, and the Wraiths were going from 12 to 14 plus when they were advancing. They were often covering 16, 17 inches. Yeah. And later in the game, my Eldar, who moved 7 inches, was suddenly moving 9 inches plus a D6 +1, so you're covering 15, 16 inches with infantry.
Yeah.
Which meant that if Alex had deployed up close, given up turn 1 of shooting and just barreled everything forwards, he would have been on my deployment zone end of turn 1. And while he wouldn't have killed anything turn 1, I've then got nowhere to run. So that was kind of what I was expecting. And when he deployed the Aegis and the objective all the way at the back, I thought, okay, that's going to buy me time. And by the time that I actually got there, turn 6, that sort of turn 5, turn 6, when I was actually then pushing into his deployment zone, I actually outnumbered him. Yeah. Turn 7, I was disembarking troops and outnumbering the Destroyers, which I wouldn't have done if he'd done turn 1 and 2 the way I expected.
So Mark was quite opinionated. He shared how he thinks that you should have played it differently. So have you got to come back to that? Do you think he should have done anything differently apart from, let you win? But do you think, is there anything that if you were playing his army today that you would have done differently to, achieve a stronger outcome?
No, I don't think so. I think pretty much Mike played it as he should have because of how I made my mistakes. Like, he capitalized on everything I did wrong.
That was kind of him.
Yeah. It was rude of him what it was.
Yeah.
But no, I don't think Mike really could have changed anything with how he played that. I think it was all down to my bad tactics is what...
Yep.
I guess is what laid out the result of the battle.
Okay. And so the game finished in an hour and a quarter. That's quite unusual. Why do you think that was?
Well, we both have small model count armies, so that helps. And I think my first 2 turns at least consisted of a movement phase, and that was it. I think, and even Mike's first turn was a move and a little bit of shooting.
It wasn't much.
So I think it was only really started turn 3 was when we actually started playing, I guess, proper length turns. Everything else was really quick. I think that was how I managed to get it done so quickly.
Yeah. Mike, I forgot to ask you, do you have a model that you think was a total waste of space and waste of points on the table today?
I think Prince Uriel really didn't do much across most of the game. I even forgot to roll his command point regeneration while he was on the table. When he got into combat at the end of the game, he did all right, although he took 3 wounds on Overwatch, which kind of baffled me a little bit. He wasn't necessarily needed, but at the same time, I had him, not knowing what Alex was bringing today, he was in the list as an assault deterrent because he's actually half decent in combat. He'll, 4 attacks hitting on 2s, wounding on 2s, D3 damage. He'll kill single models pretty quickly. So he was my kind of buffer zone to try and keep the Wraith Guard alive, because the Wraith Guard, he would stay in combat to hold things back, or if need be, fall back with the Wraith Guard, and then the Wraith Guard get to fire anyway. So he was kind of superfluous to requirements, but like he wouldn't have been a total waste if I'd remembered to roll those command point regens. So yeah.
And do you think you'd make any changes to the list that you actually brought?
I'd probably swap out the D in this particular game. I think the army's all right in general, but I think in this game I'd swap out the D sides for more Wraith Cannons, and I'd swap out the Wraith Knight's Sun Cannon for a sword, and run him as a combat Wraith Knight. Although the big thing for me for this was the army's what you see is what you get. So the model had a Sun Cannon, it got a Sun Cannon, and it's the same with the Wraith Guard. That's what they were armed with, so that's what they got. So little changes like that. The Warp Spiders were probably superfluous to requirements as well. They did basically soak 2 units of destroyers worth of fire before they died, which was good because it took pressure off the Wraith Knight, which gave me a chance to heal him. Because otherwise you could have just pushed forward and killed the Wraith Knight. Yeah. So they didn't. I think they killed 1 destroyer, but that was all. But because of the way he'd advanced, I could put them behind him, which meant he had to come back and deal with them. So they were probably the token unit that I could have done without, but at the same time, I suppose they fulfilled a role. So.
And Alex, would you have made any changes to the army that you brought based on what you know now?
I may have taken a few less wraiths and tried to put in some more destroyers. Since those are the ones that worked for me, might as well get a few more
of them. Yeah.
But no, I think the list itself wasn't too bad. Has the shooting, has the close combat, has the durability. It's all you really need, I guess, in the end.
I think both of them are fairly matchup dependent. I mean, if I'd run my Dark Eldar army with all the Venoms and all the Splinter Rifles, then you'd have no choice but to really go in fast with the Destroyer Cult backing up the Wraiths, because I would have just shot you off the table at extended ranges. But the flip side of that is if I'd run like a more traditional, some of my Grey Knights or Sisters of Battle, you just overwhelm them because they don't have the weapons to deal with the Wraiths, and then the Destroyers just mop them up. Yeah. So I think both of the armies are slightly dependent on, in this case at least, slightly dependent on who they're playing. They're not necessarily good take-all-comers lists, either of them, because they do handicap themselves against some builds. I couldn't have killed 150 Orc Boys as an example. Yeah, so yeah, there's that sort of thing to consider as well. So we just took... I mean, the army I took today was a cool army that I had that I thought it'd be cool to do robots versus robots. And I didn't know what Alex was bringing until he unpacked the 15 or whatever it was, 16 Wraiths. Yeah. And I went, oh, that's not good. And then remembered that they're not as good as they used to be. No. Although about a week and a half from now they should be. Yeah.
Fingers crossed anyway,
well,
yeah.
The codex for the Necron list is out in about a week and a half as of this recording, so...
Okay, well that may negate the question that I'm about to ask. But Alex, for people who are new to the game, playing or just new to playing Necrons, what kind of advice or tips would you want to give them?
Well, yeah, since the codex is coming out in a week and a half, it'd probably be best to, I guess, hold
wait
off
and
until
read the codex. Yeah.
But assuming there aren't humongous changes to, like, I guess, the core of the Necrons, I guess one of the best bit of advice I can give is big units actually work really well for Necrons, because you got a higher leadership, you don't have to worry about morale. Generally, you don't have to worry about morale. And the bigger your unit, the more likely that you will have models left alive to then be able to make your reanimation rolls the next turn. Because if you have lots of small squads, it's a lot easier to, say, kill 3 destroyers and thus negate all your reanimation rolls than killing all 6 destroyers to try and negate the reanimation. And I guess, as like with every army, you need to make sure everything does support each other, because your models are quite expensive, so you don't get a lot on the field unless you go for, I guess, a warrior spam.
Yeah.
So if you, as I did, spent half my points on Wraiths and the other half on Destroyers, and then sent one half of the force outside the range of the other half's guns, basically it's a disaster at that point.
Right, yep. Okay.
Yeah, that's the main tips I'd give.
Yep. Mike, what about you? If there's somebody who's new to Craftworld Eldar, what kind of tips would you give them?
Don't use my dice for the Wraith Knight. The only thing he managed to do was survive. He was making great save rolls, but wasn't hitting the side of a barn door.
There are no barn doors on the table, so...
There was some like bulkheads and things, the terrain just off screen. No, look, I think Eldar have always been a little bit synergistic, and I'm waiting for the FAQ to kind of change a couple of the units, which I didn't even run today. I didn't remember I had them in the army, to be perfectly honest. They were in the case when I opened it, and I forgot. But I don't think you can go too far wrong with Wave Serpents backing up any of your infantry just because they're a good all-round tank. I think most Eldar armies will feature between 2 and 4 of those at its core because they are so good. The Wraith Knight's not as bad as the internet seems to think it is. It's overpriced. It's probably... Mine was 500 and something points today. But if you were 100 points cheaper, you'd see them everywhere. At 50 points cheaper, you actually consider them. I took him today because he was part of the army and he's a cool sort of conversion and a sort of a centerpiece model. But he's not terrible. I think I think people harp on him a lot because he was so cheap and so good in like previous editions. But he's not bad, particularly in Iyanden where he doesn't suffer all the penalties and stuff, and you can then run around healing him, or there's a stratagem I could have used during the game that heals him as well. Yeah. So killing him and putting him down and stopping him being effective is actually quite difficult. And if you give him a sword and a shield, and then run him at people and stab them with it, that could work pretty well, particularly for some of the new knights that are coming out.
Okay, do either of you have anything else to add?
Only that I think we need to have a rematch once you get the codex, and maybe I'll hopefully have my Tau done by then, so maybe we can do a Tau v Necron with the 2 brand new codexes. Do
you know what would be awesome with that? If both of you could actually read the codex and know how to play with them while you're actually doing that on video, that'd be awesome.
I suppose.
Yeah, I know it's a big ask, isn't it?
It'll be fine.
It's fine. Just make up the rules as we go along. As long as we're both cheating,
it's totally
like
okay.
We're not cheating.
Yeah. Have you got anything else to add, Alex?
Well, I agree with Mike. We should do a rematch at some point, or at the very least, the Necrons vs Tau. Especially with all the rumours of how the destroyers are getting that much better. But yeah, no, I don't think I have anything else to add.
Beautiful. Well, thank you very much, both of you, for joining me for this battle rep, and thank you, Alex, for coming along and playing on today's episode. We hope that you guys have actually enjoyed watching the game and hope that you got something out of the interview at the end. If you have any specific questions that you'd like to see asked to the players, then let us know. Otherwise, keep following us on YouTube and Facebook and iTunes and anywhere else that we happen to be. We're under Objective Secured everywhere. So yes, if you can find us, follow us, like, subscribe, all that kind of thing, and we will see you in a fortnight.